Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse coming to theaters this Friday, May 2nd, to a theater near you. And like I said, coming across the Spider-Verse. As we get into what it was, Into the Spider-Verse is our first title. Now we have Across the Spider-Verse. As probably seen trailers, obviously, coming back from our previous movie where they literally have a multiverse machine that is created by Alchemax, the Kingpin. He's trying to find his dead wife. Guys, we'll go back and watch that movie. This one pretty much continues the story of Miles Morales as he kind of gets into his groove now with Spider-Man and, understands, what it is to somewhat be Spider-Man, but doesn't have the full story. Some of the arc that some of the other Spider people necessarily would have. Like I said, movie comes in 2 hours 20 minutes, not super long. Man, this is non spoiler, by the way, guys. So if you're watching this, don't be afraid. I'm not going to say anything that's going to spoil it for you. Just giving you reasons for why you should watch this incredible movie. Why I liked it, X, Y, Z. Right. Let's just before we even get into before I get into the cast or anything like that, let me just kind of break down the story. Miles, of course, like I said, goes across the multiverse. Where he, from the trailers, you see him kind of come across other Spider people. He learns some things. Figures some stuff out. We get into a whole mess of stuff. The trailers clearly show. We get the spot in here. We have Spider-Man 2099, and then where else your imagination is going to take you to what you think you're going to see. On that note, we get it back into our returning cast. We got Shamik Moore who's playing Miles Morales. I think him kind of being a little bit older in this movie, he definitely found his voice for Miles in this a little bit better, because I know he's playing a younger version of himself. He's like 13 or 14 in the last one. This one he's like 15 or so. But you can definitely tell he's more in the groove for this character. He's definitely more comfortable. I definitely love the voice of Miles. I love the fact that he speaks Spanish, in some of his language. His half Dominican side. So we get a little bit at Haley Steinfeld's back at Gwen Stacy. I mean, you can't cast any more perfect than that. I mean, she just fits this character so perfectly. I don't even know. Like, if I would have heard Gwen Stacy going forward, if I would hear anybody else's voice, it'd probably be weird. And it's specifically Spider Gwen, not the romanticized Gwen Stacy, not the girlfriend Gwen Stacy that dies in every single thing. And that's what makes Gwen so unique, is that she is the one person in the entire Spider-Verse, very unique to her Spider-Verse, because instead of Peter Parker becoming Spider-Man, she becomes Gwen. Oscar Isaac, he's playing Miguel O'Hara. We got a little preview of him at the end of the last one, so that was pretty cool. Jake Johnson, he's back as his Peter. We, from the credits, you already know we got Issa Rae, we got Brian Tyree Henry coming back as Jefferson Davis, Luna Lauren Velez as Rio Morales, and I'm gonna stop it at there. Those are all our returning characters coming back, doing an amazing job. Everybody's got amazing screen time here. It has an amazing impact on the story. As we see in this movie, we see a little bit more of Miles kind of coming to the dilemma that most Spider-Man has, is time management, right? And dealing with living this double life and continuing to, lie to his friends and family about his life. And whereas though Peter Parker is pretty much easy, like you don't want to tell anybody closest to you, because that makes sense, because you feel like you're going to put them in danger, and if they know, then the supervillains know. I feel like the theory of like telling your friends and family that your secret identity, I don't know, it depends on the story, how it's written. Sometimes it's very advantageous, like, because if you could just get the hell out of there, or you can essentially assist in some type of way. But we deal with Miles kind of like debating on telling his mom and dad here, whether or not he's Spider-Man, because he doesn't want to either I think he doesn't want to put them in a certain way, not only safety wise, but the emotional of like what they're dealing with, like with their son, and just kind of the transition of them kind of losing their kid. And as you remember, we just lost Uncle Aaron. We lost him in the last movie, who was killed, and while Spider Man was being Spider Man, or he was essentially learning to be Spider Man, so he didn't really get a lot of what was going on. And like I said, this the story takes a place about like a year or so right after the original. So we get a obviously a taller a taller Spider Man, which I feel like that'd be a dead giveaway, right? Because Miles is a little taller. Um, but we see in this movie, and not a spoiler, but we see kind of the relationship between his parents a little bit more, and how they view him, and how much they actually do care for him. And of course, being a teenager, there's certain things that you can't see that your parents see, that the teenage angst, stuff like that, and just dealing with certain things. But this entire movie is still Miles Morales' story. We're still essentially getting his origin here, and learning more things about him, and what makes him unique among all the Spider people. Obviously, not just being black, and being Miles Morales, not being but what makes him more unique is the next line of the spider person. um, we get into a little bit more of Gwen Stacy. The first one, they do introduce her, but they introduce her in the middle of Miles's story, or Peter Parker's story. Whatever. They give her a little bit more here, so a little bit more about her world. A little bit more about her motivations. A little bit more about why she's doing what she's doing. And if you've read a comic, you already know this. This is not a surprise to you. And this movie is essentially is for those people that don't pick up comics. I'm not shaming you or forcing you to, but you definitely have a little bit more insight if you have read Spider Gwen, or if you have any connection to any of the other Spider-Man properties whatsoever. Then I feel like this would be perfect for you. But like I said, we get a little bit more of her relationship with her family, her origins and stuff like that. And, said not spoiling anything like for you guys, but it definitely plays a big part in this movie. And her relationship with Miles, and where that falls, because see, as we left that, it was a little bit of something there, but we wasn't confirmed. um you get a little something. I don't want to say too much. You get a little bit of something, that you'll see in this movie between them two. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. But yeah, you say get a little bit more Miles, and his back, because like I said, we were dealing with a lot in that first one. And like I said, the second one, we get a little bit more story between those two characters. Let's talk about the multiverse, right? Without Man, it's a lot of spider people in this movie. Like literally, like hundreds of spider people in this movie. Um, and I could sit here and name different, cameos. We got some surprising ones that I don't think you guys going to see coming. You got some that they're the fan favorites. You got some returns that I'm gonna say. But it's a little overwhelming sometimes, like, because there are so many people that not everybody's going to get the proper screen time that they deserve. Because again, this movie is Miles focused, and it's focused on certain characters, so not everybody's going to get more than probably a second or so for you to really kind of see what's going on. But I do think they did a good job of showcasing, some of the stuff, and there's a lot of fan service here. I mean, that seems to be Sony's thing with the Spider-Man movies. Are like, we're gonna do fan service, and hey, that works for me. I have absolutely no problem with it. Kind of, figuring out who the big bad is here, in the movie, and what that has to do with the entire of the multiverse, because we have this team of spider people that are now protecting the multiverse, and in these anomalies that were caused by Spider-Man and the Collider in the first one. So now we pretty much have the cleanup crew of them just trying to grab people that aren't supposed to be where they're supposed to be, and fix a lot of the multiversal issues that are going on. So we get a lot of that And like I said, we get a lot of special cameos. Man, it's something that I want to talk about right now. Some may even be brick form, but I'll leave it. I'll leave it at that. But overall, let me just get into, I guess, what I thought about the movie. I absolutely did like it. Visually, it's still very stunning. The art is impressive. The voice acting in this movie is, oh my god, just top notch. I mean, you can't find a better cast for this. I mean, my Spider-Man bias aside, I absolutely do think this movie was incredible. Only problem is it was dragging on a little bit at the beginning of it, and then obviously as you watch it, you find out why it's doing that. But it is dragging on. It's definitely not as quickly paced as the first one is. I feel like the story for the first one is definitely like speed rolling, but it effectively hits a lot of points. This one is building a little bit more, and you realize that as it kind of does with the time. That's, like I said, it's 2 hours 20 minutes, and as you kind of get to a certain part, you're like, oh man, are they going to be able to do XYZ within the time frame? And they do, but like I said, I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but it's a lot on the table here. It's a lot of meat when it comes to the Spider Verse, and it's just so much potential of what they can do. But like I said, story wise, this is, if you remember, the Spider Verse, Across Spider Verse, supposed to be part one, part two. And not a spoiler to say this, but there's more Spider Verse coming, obviously. So more Miles Morales, more of the crew, and like I said, more Gwen Stacy, and so on and so on. Music, my God, the soundtrack for this was incredible. If you thought the first one was good, which I still listen to this day, the soundtrack is really good for this. Hits a lot of the beats perfectly well, like the first one did, and they just go all out for this. I'm definitely going to be bumping this. Might even grab me one of those Burger King hamburgers that they've been promoting. Wink. Lot of different if you blink you're gonna miss it moments in the movie. But like I said, voice acting is incredible, visuals incredible. Now there were some moments of the movie where the art was the I'm not gonna say the art, but like the style of the universes were kind of confusing because I wasn't sure, like, okay, like we're in this person universe, so okay, so visually it's supposed to look like this, and we're in this was supposed to look like this. I know like Gwen Stacy was supposed to kind of mimic how it was in the comic book, so it's kind of a lot of splash art, and so on and so on. They introduced Spider Punk in this movie, which you already know from trailers. I'm just gonna leave it at that. He is ridiculously incredible. He has some amazing moments in the movie. Hobby Brown. If you read a comic, you already know where I'm going with this. But yeah, it's definitely a great addition to the summer lineup. Very happy that I was able to see this. I always want to see more Miles Morales on screen, even though we haven't got him live action just yet. But I'm sure at some point they'll work on that. But like I said, pick up a comic. You can read the Adventures of Miles Morales pretty much any day. And like I said, we got so much more coming to the Spider-Verse universe. Again, got some incredible cameos here that I can't even talk about because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. Just know the action's incredible. The villain, the Spot, I not my first choice. I thought they were gonna go with, but I could once you figure out how they use them, then it makes sense. But and yeah, we'll get into more of that. But all I can say is, the movie comes out June 2nd. Check it out. 2 hours 20 minutes, definitely worth your time. Is there an after credit scene? No, they're not for this movie. You're gonna see what you're gonna see, and then that's it. But check it out, Spider-Verse, June 2nd. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Was my review too vague? Was spot on? But let's know that the movie's incredible. You should check it out. Worth your time. Let's get more Spider-Man stuff. Keep checking us out, and I'll see you guys later. See you.